From CBS News Bay Area, this is the Morning Edition.
Hi there, thanks so much for joining us this morning. It's Monday, November 3rd.
Let's open up the windows and get this day started.
Everybody is shopping, trying to get the pantry filled up, but there's so much they can do with what they have.
As we get close to tying the longest government shutdown ever, Bay Area neighbors who rely on SNAP benefits are wondering what's next, how more county leaders are stepping in to provide some much-needed help.
And it forces us to act. It forces us to go into this to save democracy.
It's out of our hands now. We did our best.
One day to go until Election Day, the last-minute pleas to drive voters to the polls and decide the fate of Prop 50.
Every month, businesses are closing down.
Merchants in one Oakland neighborhood calling for help. They say crime is impacting their bottom line, how they had to rely on each other to make ends meet.
We just wanted to make a cheaper version that could still work.
And Bay Area innovation among high school seniors, their inspiration for a machine that could help detect lung cancer, and why the tech is more promising than ever.
And good morning to you. Let's take a quick check of that forecast as we head out the door this morning. It is cool and foggy in certain pockets of the Bay Area. Heading all the way up into the North Bay we go. We have a little bit of that fog kind of holding on tight to places like Napa and Sonoma Valley. We're going to continue to keep a close eye on that as we head into the afternoon hours. Now let's zoom all the way up into the North Bay real fast because we're talking about 60s and 70s today on tap for us. Anywhere from Santa Rosa all the way down along 101 into Novato. 60s and 50s along the coast today from San Francisco stretch down into Half Moon Bay. Another thing they mentioned too, this is going to look a little bit messy, but what I want to show you is what the National Weather Service has issued, and it's a whole bunch of beach hazard statements, wind advisories, and coastal flood advisories that are in effect right now along the map. I'm going to break this apart for you coming up in the First Alert forecast. Back to you.
All right, thank you so much, Jess. So looking live at the U.S. Capitol this morning, in one day, the U.S. government shutdown will be the longest in the history of the United States. So over the weekend, tens of millions of Americans lost federal food assistance, and that includes tens of thousands here in California. And you see the lines here behind us. They're long at food banks all over the country. The Trump administration has a deadline today to answer to a judge ordering emergency reserve funds must fund SNAP food assistance programs while the government remains closed down. We're watching that one closely, but really drilling down locally. In Contra Costa County, a lot of leaders are stepping forward to help families have food on the table. The county plans to hand out grocery debit cards to more than 100,000 CalFresh enrollees. CalFresh is California's version of the federal food assistance program called SNAP. So to get that done, leaders will take official action Tuesday. They'll be declaring a local emergency. Supervisor John Joyous says the money is out there and it's time to use it.
We have a AAA bond rating. We have over $500 million in reserves. If we can't use our emergency reserves for something like this, what should we be using it for?
So county leaders say the price tag is up to $21 million from the reserve fund to give cards out for 1 month. Food assistance leaders all over the Bay Area have asked that we get you this number as you face these issues. Just dial 211. That's the state hotline. It's free. It's confidential. It exists 24/7 to help with housing, food, and healthcare needs. And
as for airports, the government shutdown causing problems here in the Bay Area and across the country. Long wait times reported here after ground delays were issued at New Jersey's Newark Airport and at LAX on Sunday. Both were because of staffing issues. Air traffic controllers have not received pay in a month, and the FAA is reporting a surge in sick calls in response. Secretary of Transportation Sean Duffy says we can expect more delays in the coming days if the government does not reopen.
We want people to go safely, and so we will slow and stop traffic if we don't think we can manage it in a way that keeps people safe as they go from point A to point B.
Duffy also backtracked on his plan to potentially fire air traffic controllers who called in sick, saying they need money and support. Moving around the Bay for your headlines in your community. We begin in Antioch, where a child ended up in the hospital after gunfire in the neighborhood. Police acted quickly, and now they have a teen suspect in custody. Officers responded to Sunset Drive just after 4:30 p.m. Sunday. They found a 9-year-old boy who had been shot and quickly gave him medical aid. He was taken to the hospital with injuries described as non-life-threatening, so he's going to survive. Police later arrested a 17-year-old suspect, and now they are investigating. Over to Gilroy. Today is the deadline for campers to vacate 2 large encampments on Santa Clara Valley Water District land. But the dozens of homeless people living at those sites may have nowhere to go. Valley Water says safety and health issues forced the closure of both encampments, where more than 50 people have lived for years. Community advocates say the change will only scatter these people all over the city without shelter. And Santa Clara County leaders say there is a waiting list for shelter beds. San Rafael taking some big steps to manage the growing street food scene, especially in the Canal neighborhood, putting new rules on the table with the goal of bringing order, safety, and what they call opportunity. Under the framework for a mobile food vending program, vendors have to stick to commercial zones, follow health rules, and close up shop by 8 p.m. $24 annual permit gets them in, and the city is putting $75,000 toward vendor support and enforcement. 2 weeks ago, the city council voted unanimously to approve the ordinance. If approved in today's second reading, the full plan would kick off in the spring.
Well, looking live at San Francisco with 1 day to go before voters voice their choice on California's Proposition 50. It seeks your permission to redraw state congressional maps to favor Democrats. That's California's answer to Texas's efforts to do the very same thing to get more Republicans elected to Congress. Later this morning, Governor Gavin Newsom will join House Speaker Emerita Nancy Pelosi for a Get Out the Vote phone bank. So we wanted to show you sort of a before and after here of what the maps look like now and what they would look like if Proposition 50 passes. A lot more blue if you green light state legislators being able to redraw those maps. The map is the result, and it would only be valid until the 2030 census. So we sent Amanda Harry out. She followed people who are canvassing for and against 50 to find out why they think this election is especially critical. Watch.
Have a great day, sir. Thank you so much. This one you as well. Hi.
With hours left until the 2025 statewide special election, canvassers are looking for opportunities at every door.
And it forces us to act. It forces us to go into this to save democracy.
Zach Bowling is a volunteer with Yes on Prop 50, supporting temporarily redrawing House district lines. He spent his Sunday trying to rally voters with the help of Alameda Mayor Marilyn Ezzy Ashcraft.
What are you guys selling? We're selling democracy. Would you like to have some?
Bowling grew up in Texas. He believes Yes on 50 is needed to combat congressional redistricting that was passed by the governor there.
We're going back to the voters to let them decide to allow us to do Prop 50. They didn't do that in Texas. They just decided in a back room that we're going to redistrict in this way.
A poll by the Public Institute of California published Wednesday showed 56% of likely voters will vote in support of Prop 50. Despite that, Max Shaw and his cat Cashew have been out in the San Jose community nearly every day, knocking on doors and making phone calls.
The conservatives and moderates need a voice here.
He's spent hours trying to explain to people why he believes they should vote no.
We should all be against gerrymandering. I am personally. And this is why we have the Independent Citizens Redistricting Commission in California that we elected and voted for.
He feels voting yes will negatively impact smaller and rural communities, as well as many of the people who supported President Donald Trump in the 2024 election.
Almost 40% of Californians voted for Trump in 2024, yet we only have currently about 17% representation in the House of Representatives. And now if Prop 50 passes, they're going to gain up to 5 more seats, and that representation of our 40% is going to drop to 7%.
He knows the odds are against him, but he's proud of the work he's done with the help of more than a dozen other No on Prop 50 volunteers. People on both sides say they're fighting for what they think will do the most good.
It's out of our hands now. We did our best, but we'll just leave it into God's hands and walk by faith.
I'm fully invested because I can't let our country slide into what it can be if we don't win this.
Well, another huge headline to be watching and ballot initiative is for Santa Clara County voters. Measure A is designed to raise the county's sales tax for 5 years. That's designed to offset projected losses from federal budget cuts, including cuts to health care. So a reminder, we are your community election station following the personal stories of people impacted by these very issues. Our live coverage starts at 8 o'clock tomorrow night on Pix Plus 44 Cable Channel 12, and then you can tune in to see election results as they come in up to the minute. You can also stream our coverage for free using the free CBS News app. Time right now, 6:10, literally on the nose. President Donald Trump placing blame on Democrats for the U.S. government shutdown. He sat down for a new 60 Minutes interview as so many Americans worry about the impacts on the economy. We have new CBS polling as he sat down with Muir Woods.
And bracing for some sticker shock. Some healthcare plans in California could see higher premiums. One Bay Area man is already preparing for the worst case scenario. And let's take another live look outside before we head to break. This is a view from our camera on Treasure Island, looking back at the city of San Francisco. Jess is going to have your forecast right after the break.
Welcome back, everybody. Okay, so we're watching these live pieces of video that are coming to us from all over the globe that help us stream those headlines from all across the world. Top of mind, President Donald Trump joined CBS 60 Minutes Sunday fielding questions from Norah O'Donnell on topics from tariffs to immigration to the government shutdown, which now threatens to become the longest in U.S. history. This sit-down interview comes as Americans weigh in on the shutdown stalemate. In fact, a recent YouGov poll shows more than half of Americans are very worried about how the government shutdown will affect the economy in the long run. The numbers are right there from you, the voter. Here's CBS News' Jared Hill with more of the president's wide-ranging interview and where the president places blame.
Nice to see you.
In a sit-down with 60 Minutes, President Trump said the shutdown will end when congressional Democrats give in or Republicans change the rules.
The Republicans have to get tougher. If we end the filibuster, we can do exactly what we want.
That's the 60-vote threshold that pushes lawmakers toward compromise. Democrats are demanding a spending bill that extends Affordable Care Act subsidies with premiums set to skyrocket at the end of the year.
You got to go ahead and put America first and sit down with us, deal with the health care shortage.
President Trump doubled down on his vow to negotiate only when the government reopens.
I'm not going to do it by being extorted by the Democrats.
The stalemate has placed millions of SNAP recipients in limbo and led to delays at the nation's airports as federal airport employees reacted to being forced to work without pay. A new CBS News poll shows a growing number of Americans are concerned about the impact of the shutdown. Disapproval of how the president is handling the shutdown has also ticked up, with people blaming both parties evenly. In the interview, President Trump also defended the surge in immigration raids.
I think they haven't gone far enough because we've been held back by the judges.
And celebrated future cooperation with China on trade.
I think we can be bigger, better, and stronger by working with them as opposed to just knocking them out.
Last week, the president ordered the Pentagon to resume nuclear weapons tests, though he told 60 Minutes he's discussed denuclearization with Chinese President Xi Jinping and Russian leader Vladimir Putin.
The Supreme Court will hear oral arguments Wednesday on President Donald Trump's sweeping tariffs. Small businesses and a group of states say most of those crippling tariffs are illegal and should be struck down by the high court justices. The case will consider whether the president had the legal authority to begin with to impose those tariffs by using a law known as the International Emergency Economic Powers Act. That act essentially gives the president the ability to set tariffs in what is supposed to be the threshold of a national emergency. Grief and outrage in Mexico this morning after a deadly attack on a city leader. Mourners there demanding justice after gunmen killed Mayor Carlos Manzo during a Day of the Dead event. He live streamed just minutes before that shooting. Officials say police shot and killed one suspect and arrested two others tied to the ambush.
Now to a developing story out of the Philippines. Officials rushed to get people to safety as a typhoon closed in from the Pacific. More than 70,000 people evacuated yesterday in the eastern Visayas with warnings of heavy rain and storm surges up to 10 feet. That storm is heading towards central islands right now, like Cebu, which was hit hard by a deadly quake in September. All right, back here in the Bay Area, taking a live look outside. The sun is rising a little earlier than we're used to because we did set those clocks back over the weekend. Here is Jess with a look at your weather.
I know, that extra hour of sleep was so nice over the weekend. Let's take a quick look at what's going on for us as we head outside this morning. Off to a cool and cloudy start. Our live views all throughout the Bay Area are showing some patchy fog. You notice it mostly up in the North Bay, but as we head into the next couple hours, that'll start to pull back and bleed off as we head into this afternoon, exposing us to plenty of sunshine, especially for our friends up near Santa Rosa. Let's zoom in all the way to the places like the Novato region, all the way over into Novato and Petaluma. We're seeing 60s and 70s today. Pretty similar for the rest of our inland spots too. Over into the East Bay, the San Santa Clara Valley. We're holding on tight to 50s along the coast, and I'm about to show you something that might look a little bit messy below me. It's actually the National Weather Service. They're issuing beach hazard statements along our coastal communities, coastal flood advisories in that orange and yellow color you see directly below me. And then on top of that, wind advisories that are going to remain in effect Tuesday night into Wednesday morning with some strong wind gusts right around the corner. Reason why this is all happening even in the first place, we have a storm system that's pushing in as early as Tuesday night that's going to change the forecast significantly. We're going to see strong winds forecasted anywhere up to around 55 miles per hour as this cold front pushes in from the north. It's going to bring in a huge amount of clouds, rain, and thunderstorm activity too, about a 15 to 20% chance right now issued by the National Weather Service. But this happens in the early morning hours on Wednesday. This pushes in from the north to the south, bringing in anywhere up to around a half an inch of rain for our friends down into the Santa Clara Valley. Even more impressive rainfall totals for our friends all the way up into the North Bay. Notice how that starts to clear up as we head into Wednesday evening, though. So that's what we're keeping a close eye on. Now let's head all the way down to Monterey real quick. I want to show you some other things going on for us today and tomorrow. Our daytime highs are staying pretty mild down here. We're talking about 60s anywhere from Salinas over into Monterey, 60s up into Santa Cruz. I'm going to drop that map and show you the next 7 days because what we have on tap for us, it's a little taste of everything. We're talking about 60s all week long for our friends along the bay, but from today into our forecast Wednesday, it's going to look a lot different. Strong winds moving in late Tuesday night, rain rolling in Wednesday early morning, and then it starts to taper off into Wednesday afternoon, clearing us up nicely as we head into this weekend. Still with cloudy skies on tap, a little bit warmer weather as we head into Saturday right around the corner. Back to you.
All right, if you were heading out the door, let's get a check on your traffic this Monday. Live look on the Bay Bridge. We are already bumper to bumper there. No accidents to report. A lot of these delays caused by some road work happening near Treasure Island. Show you on the maps here. It'll take you about 20 minutes to cross the bridge. In the East Bay, we have an accident southbound 680 right now. Second lane from the left is blocked because of a crash right before Highway 84. We also want to show you some slow speeds over at the Altamont Pass. Some road work there and a stalled vehicle at Grant Line Road causing some delays. Maps are showing slow speeds down to 7 miles per hour in one spot there. And let's take a look at public transit this morning. So far, so good on this Monday. No major delays or any issues to report. That is a look at your morning commute. It was a day of music and tradition Sunday as Oakland celebrated Dia de los Muertos. The city held its annual festival in the Fruitvale neighborhood, attendees wearing traditional clothing as they sampled some of the food and checked out live performances.
6:20 in the morning, the Niners with a nice bounce-back win on the road. That's the way we start on Monday. Matt Lively will have more on what worked. That's in our Red and Gold report. And let's take another live look outside before we head to break. Gorgeous shots of the new span of the Bay Bridge. What do we call it? New anymore? It's been a few years. We'll be right back. We are counting down the days to the Super Bowl at Levi Stadium coming up in just a few months. Today, the NFL and the Bay Area Host Committee are going to announce the official venues for Super Bowl 60 in a live stream from NFL headquarters in New York. Well, bang, bang, Niner gang. The 49ers got back in the win column Sunday with a 34-24 win over the New York Giants. Matt Lively has a recap from MetLife Stadium.
This is the Audi Red and Gold report.
The 49ers scored 34 points and they took down the New York Giants on the road. It was a performance as good as a slice of gabagool from these parts of Jersey as the Niners improved to 6-3.
I gave them their first victory Monday of the year, so I know they were excited about that.
The offense stole the show. After scoring just 15 points in Houston, they exploded.
What do we have today, 34? Love it, love 34 points.
Led by Christian McCaffrey, who found the end zone twice. Christian has another one of those games. He catches one, he runs one in. What's it been like to play with him?
Oh, he's the man. He just does everything right. And on that last pass to seal the game, like that wasn't really the look we were looking at. And he just turned and I threw it to him and he caught it and ran for like 50 yards. So that's Christian McCaffrey in a bottle, and he's the man. So I'm really happy I can play with him.
McCaffrey's backup, Brian Robinson Jr., has been waiting for his opportunity this season, and it came in the fourth when he found the end zone.
It was beautiful. It was a relief. You know, I've been waiting to finally get in the box, and it felt good to finally get across that line today.
Christian don't leave a lot of crumbs on the table, so he understands his role, and you know, him just always being ready to go. Never gives the defense a chance to relax.
For the Red and Gold Report, I'm Matt Lively.
Giants and some awards for two of the team's well-known players. Shout out to Logan Webb and Patrick Bailey. They were both named Gold Glove winners Sunday night. It is the first for Webb and second for Bailey. Taking a live look right now at Los Angeles because the city is gearing up for a championship party. The Dodgers celebrating back-to-back World Series titles with the downtown parade starting this morning at 11 o'clock. Players, coaches, fans all riding through the streets on double-decker buses, ending with a big event at Dodger Stadium. More than 200,000 people are expected to attend.
Time right now, 6:26. Good morning, everybody. Nice to have you with us. Hey, donations helping the iconic Muir Woods stay open despite the government shutdown. What people did to step forward and the question, when will this raise money run out?
And a shopping district in Oakland says they need more help. Despite a drop in crime citywide, they're pleased to city leaders. And let's take a live look outside before we head to break because the sun has risen and it's not even 6:30. That's because we changed those clocks over the weekend. We'll be right back.
From CBS News Bay Area, this is the Morning Edition.
Look at that beautiful shot from Treasure Island over towards the city. Good morning, everybody. We hope you have a great week on tap, 1 foot in front of the other. Let's take a live look now from Jessica's vantage point. Jess.
Well, all throughout the Bay Area, we're waking up to some beautiful weather. A little bit more foggy for our friends up into the North Bay, though. Places like Napa and Sonoma, we're continuing to keep a close eye on you guys this morning. And as we head into this afternoon, that fog will start to bleed away. We're going to clear up. We're going to see sunnier skies, 60s and 70s on tap for us today, all throughout Napa and Vallejo. Notice how it looks pretty similar for our friends all the way off into the East Bay, too. Now, there's some changes that we're going to notice throughout the next couple days. Beautiful weather on tap for us today, but we have some storms rolling in Tuesday and Wednesday. Now the National Weather Service is already all over it, issuing wind advisories, coastal flood advisories, on top of dense fog advisories too for some pockets of Northern California. I'm going to have more on this coming up in just a bit and what that's going to look like for us when it comes to rainfall totals and a chance of thunderstorms right around the corner. For now, back to you.
All right, taking a live look at the U.S. Capitol as the federal government shut down now in its 34th day, just 1 day shy of an all-time record, and there's still no end in sight this morning. Big deadlines hit the White House today. 2 federal judges are demanding the Trump administration explain how it plans to keep SNAP food aid going during the shutdown. Here's how the crisis is hitting families and fueling political fire.
I would surely give up a meal for my kids to eat. If it came down to me and eating, they're going to eat.
He's been willing to give $20 billion to the Argentines and meet with them, wreck the White House, have a great Gatsby party down at Mar-a-Lago. He has not done what he said needed to be done in 2011, sit down with Democratic leadership.
And as SNAP remains in limbo, food banks have been overwhelmed. The government shutdown also hitting some of our neediest children. Funding cuts are something that is affecting right now a free preschool Head Start program in Santa Cruz. Encompass Community Services has shut down all 11 of its Head Start centers because nobody was available to process the grant renewal on November 1st. And in San Mateo County, advocates say their funding for renovation and expansion of centers has also been paused.
You know, and we are also hearing a lot from people that are logging on to enroll for health care plans under the Affordable Care Act and say they are feeling sticker shock at just how much the premiums cost this year. So how's this for a number for you? Costs are up potentially by 114%. That's if Congress lets those tax credits expire by the end of the year. That's according to data from the Kaiser Family Foundation. Healthcare is the one issue between Republicans and Democrats that has stopped funding bills from passing and the reason for the government shutdown. Our Suji Nam talked with a local business owner in Napa who is under that California insurance plan. He says he's expecting to pay more and already having to make some pretty big belt-tightening moves to keep his costs down.
2020, you can see I was paying $684.24 per month, $8,200 a year approximately. In 2024, Now I'm on, $10,500.
David Dreiling is sifting through his tax forms, showing the bills he's paid each month for his health insurance.
This year, 2025, I lowered my plan because the monthly premiums were getting so high.
He's paying $755 a month now, which comes with a higher deductible, a decision that he was reminded of from a recent trip to the ER.
I had 3 stitches put into my finger. So the 3 stitches cost me $1,600. I shouldn't have done it. Should have just done it from home.
Under the same plan, Dreiling says he'll be paying more for his health care next year.
For 2026, which I've already enrolled for.
About $80 more monthly. Dreiling's reality is the reality for millions of Americans in the coming months. Matt McGuff, a policy analyst with KFF, a nonprofit health policy organization, says there are many reasons as to why consumers will see this spike next year.
Driven by providers asking to be paid more by insurers, the increase in high-cost drugs such as Ozempic.
He adds that he expects a large portion of the 24 million enrollees under the Affordable Care Act coverage to drop off.
See if there's a plan that works for you that is lower cost. Think about dropping down to a bronze metal tier plan, which has a lower monthly premium. But, conversely, you also have a much higher deductible that you'll have to meet in some cases.
Thank you for calling Farmers.
Which is what business owners like Dreiling had to do to afford the care he needs for his health conditions.
Been getting tighter and tighter as the years go on.
As a farmer's insurance agent in Napa, Dreiling is trying to look at the bright side of things.
It could be worse. It's getting worse, but that's how you kind of go day to day.
Putting his health first, no matter the cost.
Well, moving around the Bay Area for headlines right where you live, San Francisco may finally move forward on what to do with that crumbling Valancourt fountain. In fact, let's take a live look this morning now that the sun is up there in the area. Officials say the fountain poses a safety risk and they want a major renovation for the area. So the Arts Commission votes today on whether to approve temporary removal while the artists and the preservationists continue to fight it out over the fate of that now closed fountain. Well, the U.S. government may be shut down, but not Muir Woods National Monument. They did it thanks to vendors and a tour guide raising $84,000 to reopen through November 11th.
No amount is too small. Every dollar counts, of course, and that money we of course will give the totality to the national park so we can keep the park longer. Less people are coming in San Francisco. That means less people book a room, go to the restaurant.
So organizers say if the government reopens before the 11th, any money raised will be given right back to the donors. Well, a new California law designed to protect Jewish students from discrimination faces a federal complaint by the American Arab Anti-Discrimination Committee. So that group filed a federal complaint Sunday in San Jose that says the law is constitutionally vague and violates their right to free speech. The new law creates an Office of Civil Rights with a coordinator to train high school employees to identify and prevent anti-Semitism. It's set to start January 1st.
Leaders in Oakland say that they have made progress this year on crime. According to the latest data from the city, overall crime is down by almost 30% compared to this time last year. Violent crime down about 25%. But some merchants in Oakland's Fruitvale shopping district say the numbers don't tell the whole story. They say they need more help. And now they're banding together to help save each other's businesses, claiming concerns about crime is driving customers away. Veronica Macias joining us live now from Oakland Police Headquarters with more on how these merchants are pushing for intervention from the city. Veronica, what do they want?
Good morning. Well, one merchant tells me that things were so bad, the retaliation, she couldn't handle it, so she moved out of the Fruitvale. She grew up in a family-owned restaurant in Mexico, and all she's ever wanted was to show people in the States that Mexican food was more than just tacos. She's now taken that dream to a different part of the Bay Area, but she's afraid others won't be so lucky, and they shouldn't have to move out. After decades in Oakland's Fruitvale neighborhood, Leticia Chavez picked up and moved across town to the Lakeshore neighborhood. She doesn't take that move or her customers for granted.
I opened my eyes and I said, how can a customer feel so confident to lend his own money that, that they also work hard for that money.
Chavez used crowdfunding from those same loyal customers along with friends and family to pay for the move. After months of dipping into savings, she hasn't forgotten those she left behind in the Fruitvale district. Merchants who continue facing the same troubles, which caused her to close up and leave.
It hurts me that every month businesses are closing down. Members from the organization, they had to close down because, again, there is no sales. How they going to pay the rent?
I came with agreement with them.
Business owners like Eric Olivares. He's 2 months behind on rent. He now leads the association Leticia once spearheaded. CCF, Comerciantes Comunidad de Fruitvale. Olivares claims rampant crime is driving business away.
We're struggling a lot, and unfortunately, we're not making no profit here. Last year, we have 4 break-ins into the restaurant. I mean, the first time that they broke in, we had a safe here. They took quite a bit of value, I would say over $25,000.
And it's not just break-ins. Members of the association say they're crying out for help at all levels, calling on city leaders and OPD to step in.
And we're talking about shootings, assaults, robberies, intimidation, drug dealing, the whole gamut.
The city has reported a 41% drop in robberies year over year and a decrease of 18% in aggravated assaults during the first half of this year. Still, merchants say the richness of the Latino culture they remember along the Fruitvale shopping district has vanished.
We try not to expose the bad thing that was happening in Fruitvale because we were scared to scare people away. But it was at a certain point that we need to scream for help.
Desperate merchants now are pushing back, working to get community policing at a street level and channeling their anger to fight for change.
And I know that we're gonna make things better because I can see the people working so hard around me.
While Leticia has moved out of the Fruitvale, she hasn't abandoned the effort to bring back the Fruitvale she remembers.
It's really sad and hurts because it was such a beautiful community.
One that was welcoming to families and vibrant with culture. And so really what people are asking for is change. OPD is reporting a 41% decrease in robberies year over year and an 18% drop in aggravated assaults for the first half of this year. Still, merchants say there's a disconnect between those numbers and reality. Many immigrants in the community having trouble reporting the crimes online or simply are afraid to. Meanwhile, OPD is urging everyone to report all types of crime regardless of the severity. Ann.
All right, Veronica Macias live for us in Oakland. Thanks.
Time right now, 6:41. Thanks for waking up with us. Another ruling when it comes to President Trump's plan to send the National Guard into Portland. What a judge is now saying and how soon we could see the reaction on the ground. Live look outside for you right now. Good morning, everybody. Some low-lying clouds, some fog out there. Hey, it's the Bay Area. That's what we do best. We'll be right back.
First Alert Weather, brought to you by AAA Insurance. Get a quote today.
Watching live video from our many monitors bringing us headlines across the globe. A federal judge just extended a block on President Trump's deployment of National Guard troops in Portland, at least through Friday. Oregon and Portland leaders sued, saying the move broke the law. The judge agreed. The protests are not out of control there and ruled federal agents can still operate without extra troops. A powerful 6.3 magnitude earthquake hit northern Afghanistan just before dawn there. At least 20 people have been killed, at least 300 injured, and local authorities expect the number of people killed to go up as rescue efforts get underway and they get handle on the extent of the damage there. The quake also did some damage to one of the country's most iconic landmarks, a 15th century blue mosque. And McDonald's feeling the pinch, literally, as pennies vanish from circulation with the U.S. Mint halting penny production. Some McDonald's locations now are rounding cash purchases to the nearest 5 cents when customers don't have exact change. Now, the change only applies to cash transactions, as most customers now use cards or some sort of digital payments.
I say just throw in an extra McNugget. And time now for a look at what's coming up later on CBS Mornings. We wish a good morning to our friend Tony DeCopel, joining us live in New York. Nice to talk to you, Tony. Good morning.
Hey, Reed, good to see you. Nice to talk to you as well. Coming up on CBS Mornings, a big show with a big exclusive right at the center of it. That 60 Minutes exclusive sit-down with President Donald Trump. Norah O'Donnell will talk to us about that wide-ranging conversation, all the topics they got into, among them the shutdown and healthcare, things that really matter for viewers at home. Plus, an Oscar winner is going to be here, the actor Rami Malek. He'll be live in studio telling us about starring in a highly anticipated new movie. It's called Nuremberg. Also, Monday, it means Beg Knows America. That's what Monday means around here. David's got a heartfelt story today about a father who wrote to David about his hero. And his hero happens to be his son. He will explain how he turned something that felt impossible into something that in the end felt absolutely unforgettable. So we'll get you started with a smile on your face on this Monday, 7 o'clock.
Little Monday motivation. Tony DeCopel, thank you so much. Have a great day.
A lot of motivated people out hitting the streets yesterday in San Francisco. This is what was the annual Golden Gate Half Marathon. 7,500 runners hit the streets near Ghirardelli Square. The 13.1-mile-long route was a little different because of the government shutdown. Organizers changed parts of the course that passed through federal land, but runners were still allowed to cross the Golden Gate Bridge. The winner of the women's title was Anya Cheng from New York. She finished the race in 1 hour and 29 minutes and 8 seconds. All right, taking a live look outside on this Monday morning. Again, the sun has risen a little earlier than we're used to because of that time change. This is a view from our camera on Mount Diablo. Here's Jess with our weather.
Ooh, I like that little bit of shadow. You can see the contrast and sun shining. Some of us still just under the shadow of the mountains. Here's what's happening for us as we head outside today. Starting off with our friends up into the North Bay. A little bit cool and foggy right now. That fog is already starting to pull back. Keeping a close eye on that throughout the morning hours as we head into this afternoon. This is what we're gearing up for our friends up in the North Bay. Starting off with a nice cool setup. We're in the 50s right now. We'll jump to the 60s and 70s from Novato up into Santa Rosa. Looking very similar for our friends over into the East Bay and the Santa Clara Valley. It feels cool out there today, and we have some big changes in the forecast this week right around the corner, bringing in storms, a chance of thunderstorm activity. On top of that, some very strong winds as early as Tuesday night into early Wednesday morning, to the point where the National Weather Service has already issued wind advisories. There's so much color on here, I kind of want to break all of this apart. The tan color you see below me is a wind advisory issued by the National Weather Service starting Tuesday night, lasting into Wednesday, where we can see gusts up to around 55 miles per hour. Coastal flood advisories in effect starting tonight, too. We're continuing to keep a close eye on the waves and, of course, the currents as we head all the way along our coastal communities. They're under beach hazard statements right now. That's what we're going to keep a close eye on. Now, we head all the way down into Monterey, and I want to turn this on to places like Monterey and Salinas today, holding on to 60s. It looks similar up into Santa Cruz, but all of us, regardless if you live in Santa Cruz, San Francisco, Santa Rosa, or San Jose, we're all gearing up for some rain right around the corner as we head into late Tuesday night, early Wednesday morning. So starting off the clock Tuesday afternoon, clouds start rolling in from offshore. It's not until those overnight hours where we get that first batch of showers pushing in from north to south. So what does that mean for us? We can see some more impressive rainfall totals up in the North Bay compared to some of us down into the Santa Clara Valley or all the way down into Monterey too. That's not to say that we're not going to get anything though. I mean, look at this. It pushes throughout the whole Bay Area, clearing up a little bit more as we head into Wednesday afternoon. In total, we could see some pretty impressive rainfall totals though, and we're going to continue to monitor that as we head into the next 7 days. So here's what we're in store for. Dry weather today and tomorrow, changes Wednesday morning. We start to clear up Thursday and Friday with sunnier skies, and then a mild weekend ahead of us. Back to you.
All right, we'll keep an eye on those changes, Jess. Thank you. And let's get over to our traffic maps. If you are heading out, a little bit of a issue right now on the Bay Bridge. So let's go to those maps to show you what is going on there. Just as the road work we mentioned earlier was wrapping up, 2 crashes happening going westbound. one just before Treasure Island. Looks like crews just cleaned that one up. The other just before the toll plaza. 2 lanes are blocked in that crash. So prepare for delays there. In the East Bay, now a second crash southbound 680 near Sonol. Right-hand shoulder is blocked near the Koopman Road exit. Crews still cleaning up that other accident as well. Second lane from the left still blocked right before the Highway 84 change-up. Major backup there. And at the Altamont Pass, that stalled vehicle at Grant Line Road causing even more backup. Seems to be impacting 580 northbound as well. That is a look at your morning commute.
Well, and a Silicon Valley startup redefining meals on the go by creating a robotic kitchen inside a Korean barbecue food truck. The meal comes from an AI-powered robot. It's called an auto wok. Look at that. Cooks up your meal on the road. And get this, the robot does all of this while the food truck drives the food to you.
So the value the truck is able to provide is a freshly cooked food, which is obviously more tasty, better quality food because it's freshly cooked.
All right, and get this, the Robo Kitchen also cleans itself. That's my favorite part of the whole thing. The company wants to eventually team up with an autonomous vehicle company.
Yeah, I want that in my kitchen. We are, meantime, getting a sneak peek at the giant stars that are going to be floating over Manhattan this Thanksgiving. Volunteers testing some of the new Macy's parade balloons in New Jersey over the weekend. These towering inflatables stretching as high as 4-story buildings are going to soar during the parade on November 27th.
Wait, it's still July, isn't it? No.
Things are moving, whether we like it or not.
Time it flies. As an example of that, it's already 6:51 in the morning. Good morning, everybody. Coming up, a nearly $50 billion deal to purchase embattled Tylenol maker Kenvue. More on that deal and how some say it would create a massive consumer conglomerate. That's up next.
And some Bay Area students creating a new tool in the fight against lung cancer. Meet the innovators behind this potentially life-saving device.
Live look outside one more time before we head to break.
Oh, look at that.
Look at that. Once again, we live in a postcard. We're waking up in one, too. We hope you are part of that bright light out there. Good morning, everybody. We'll be right back.
Your community, your news, powered by KPIX. CBS News Bay Area. Watch anywhere, anytime. Stay informed and connected. Trusted local news when you want it. CBS News Bay Area. Watch free on any device.
Time now for your Money Watch report. Good morning, everybody. Not a great way to start the day in trading. You can see the Dow is in negative territory. Things could adjust very soon. We'll be watching that throughout the morning. And, you know, we're also watching this, a major business giant buying the maker of Tylenol. So here's what happened. The company Kimberly-Clark buying Kenvue in a cash and stock deal worth about $48.7 billion. You'll know this, Kenvue struggled after the president linked the common pain reliever to harmful side effects. So under the terms of the deal, Kimberly-Clark shareholders would own roughly 54% of the new company. Artificial intelligence song and music generator Udio telling users you have 48 hours to download AI-generated songs from the platform starting now. This follows backlash from the users over the company's deal with Universal Music Group to settle a copyright infringement case. The allegation here is that Udio broke the law by training its AI models using copyrighted songs by Universal artists like Taylor Swift and Kendrick Lamar. So under the agreement, the two companies will now partner on a new subscription AI service.
I thought we would be one big happy family forever. But the universe had other plans.
A look at your weekend box office numbers. Halloween weekend saw drama Regretting You and horror sequel Black Phone 2 tie for #1, each pulling in just about $8 million. Anime hit Chainsaw Man slid to third with $6 million.
A group of Bay Area teens has created a promising device to help detect lung cancer. They say it is cheaper and a quicker alternative.
Nice. Kevin Coe has more on the new technology and the inspiration behind it.
And then I just blow in the bag, takes just around 10 to 15 seconds.
A big breath into this small device could possibly save countless lives from lung cancer. This machine was created by these 3 high school seniors, all because of one man.
My grandfather, he was diagnosed with a lung issue
and he was diagnosed kind of late, which kind of, if he was diagnosed earlier, it could have helped him.
What could have helped was a less invasive, more affordable, and quicker test compared to biopsies, CT scans, and top-of-the-line breath-based cancer detection.
It cost like 60 grand, and that was like the gold standard of what was being used at the time for breath-based lung cancer detection. We know we're not going to beat the accuracy of that expensive device, but we just wanted to make a cheaper version that could still work.
It works by detecting markers in the breath that could signify lung cancer, an important step in early detection. They set out to create an affordable and accurate device.
So we had to drill a hole for the inlet to go, and then we had to use these rubber grommets on the inside as well to make sure it's airtight. What we need to do is define sensors first that can detect the changes, right, between a healthy patient and then a lung cancer patient.
About a year and a half later, their device is more promising than ever. It's nearly 100% accurate. The students are in discussions with a scientific journal for publication, and the total cost for the device, just about $200. What's hard to put a price on is the journey for these aspiring engineers, who say they've already found their callings.
Even though we spent a lot of time, I felt like I was having fun the whole way, so that's kind of what I want to do.
We do here in the Bay Area. We innovate. Love to see that.
Yes,
Young
especially high schoolers making things happen. Pretty impressive.
Yeah, make them rich now. Coming up, San Jose considering a temporary ban on new tobacco shops in the city. We break down the plan that city leaders are set to vote on tomorrow.
And a major milestone for the International Space Station, marking 25 years in orbit. We are going to take a look at its history coming up.
All right, from that vantage point, let's come a little lower in the atmosphere. The view from the top of one of our beautiful mountains there. That is, that's Black Mountain, right? We're looking down from Black Mountain into the East Bay, friends? Yes, confirmation. We hope to see you over on Pix Plus 44, cable channel 12. We'll have all kinds of cameras you can see yourself. Make sure you wave.
Yes, and want to let you know you can stream us free on the CBS News app over there. Download the CBS News app, go to live, and then choose Bay Area. We're going to be there all morning long.